Okay, so today I have a new HMT watch that I want to work on. It's this watch, you can see here. It's a very simple watch. I don't know, it's in reasonable state. It has a brand new, very low quality band of fake leather, and it cost me $15 US, so very cheap. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wind it, and I'm going to put it on the time grapher. So if you haven't followed what my journey in watchmaking has been, I have had one of those previously. And as I was putting it back together, I lost a tiny spring, the click spring, which basically made the watch unusable. So we're going to try to not do that. Now the other thing is, I'm still pretty early in learning to do some watchmaking, and therefore I am not very good at it. So I don't really expect to fix anything. I'm just expecting to learn to disassemble and reassemble it and not break it too much. But here we're seeing how that watch is. So right now, what we can see, it has very bad timekeeping. It's more than 2 minutes a day ahead. It has pretty big beat error by 3 milliseconds. Amplitude seems very low. I have no idea what's the beat angle, so the lift angle, so it might not be correct. If I turn it to a side, it's slightly worse, but at that point, it's kind of the same. And if I make it, put it upside down, yeah, okay, dial down, whoops, okay. So anyway, we can see that I'm not very used to this, but the watch is not in a great running condition. It runs, but not that great. Okay, maybe we can do something about it, or maybe not. At least we should try to not make it worse. So the first thing I'm going to do, and maybe the only thing in this video, is take the watch apart and remove the movement. I say maybe the only thing because I have about 20 minutes available to me right now. So I will use my rubber ball to remove the back of the case, which is working pretty well. So here it is removed. We can see the movement. Here pretty well, moving. Don't have too much to say right now. I haven't looked at it with a microscope yet. But the first step is going to be removing the movement from the case and removing the hands and the dial. So I will grab my little cushion to put the movement on. I will put on some finger cuts. Okay, a bunch of finger cuts. And we'll go ahead with the disassembly. So first thing first is going to be remove the stem from the movement, then remove the movement from the case, then put back the stem onto the movement, remove the hands, remove the dial. Okay, so setting it under the microscope, and in case that might be useful, I am going to start the recording with a microscope. So removing the stem, I need something to push on the setting lever, which is right there. Push it down on that and pulling the stem out. Here it is. Stem is out. Put it away. And now I think I can just remove the movement from the case. Nope. Okay, so let's look at how it is secured inside the case. So looking at it through a microscope, there's kind of a gasket. Okay. First one I had didn't have a gasket. This one has a gasket. Okay. And how is it stuck? So there's those kind of feet thing holding them. I think this is a movement holder. So last time I had a similar problem in figuring out how it was held in there, but I think it's just held by friction. I was kind of hoping I could get it out that way. It's not coming out. One thing I'm wondering about is if I am supposed to bend those little tabs and just get the movement out of the movement holder, out of the that thing around it. As I mentioned, my main goal today is to not break the wedge. I don't want to force anything. I could see that without the stem, this here can rotate. See it that way. Here it is. Rotate, and actually it can lift out. Okay, so here comes that little movement holder, I guess. So now the movement and the dial should come out, I think, but it doesn't. So what's holding it? I'm really not seeing anything holding it inside the case. Last time it just came out. Rotating like this. You can see that nothing's really holding it. The dial is rotating. against just friction. Ah, here it is. Okay. Here's my wedge. The dial's there. Zoom a little bit here. So next is put back the stem. Okay, so interesting. So the hands are not set very well because the minute hand is touching several of the numbers as I turned around. Unfortunately, I didn't try it beforehand, so I don't know if it's something I did or it was like that from the start. So put a little bit of plastic to stop everything from damaging the dial, and I'm going to pull the hands out. So the two of them. This is one part where I'm really not sure about what I'm doing. Removing hands and putting them back. Removing the dial from the case. This is different for each watch. And not something I really know what I'm doing. So having trouble with the Presto tool. I have some hand levers. So I'm going to try with the hand levers. Problem was those hands were so tight on the dial that it was difficult to get in there. Okay. Okay, so that's one thing. Now I want to remove a dial, and there are dial screws, 2 dial screws. There's one here. Okay, there's one here. And there should be one on the other side. Yeah, there's one here. Oh, this one is really not really loose. Alrighty. Okay, and now the dial is coming out. Okay, so dial and hands are removed. Took about 10 minutes. I am gonna screw back the dial screws so I don't lose them, because they're really, really loose there. Okay, 1. 2. Okay, now I'll put this into my movement holder here. here it is. So now there's a couple of things I need to take away from there, and then we'll call it a day. So I am taking this dial washer, because otherwise it's going to fall. So I put it with the dial, the hands and all that stuff. Stuff that I'm putting away. Okay, and normally the hour wheel should come off too. Yeah, and hour wheel. Okay, so the last bit I'm gonna put out today is the cannon pinion. So I still have the Presto tool ready. So taking out the cannon pinion. So the cannon pinion is friction fit, so that when the movement turns, it can turn the hands, which are fitted on the cannon pinion, but when we set the time, we can turn the cannon pinion independently of what the movement is doing.